With the Super Bowl less than a week away, most fans at this point are just hoping for a good game. After all, the average viewer of the Super Bowl typically doesn't have a favorite team participating in the event, so the preference is usually just some excitement to go along with the alcohol and calorie filled Super Bowl parties happening around the country. And while typically these championship games are very exciting, that isn't always the case, especially when it comes to the 1940 NFL Championship game, where the Chicago Bears beat Washington 73-0. Not only is this the most one-sided blowout in championship game history for the NFL, but it's the most one-sided game period in all of NFL history. So these two teams must have just been on entirely different levels, right? For a blowout this big to happen in the finals, no less, this must have just been a total mismatch, of course, right? Surprisingly, that's not the case at all. Not only did Washington have a better regular season record than Chicago that year, but Washington had actually beaten Chicago 3 weeks earlier in a game that ended 7-3, which in itself is hilarious when you compare it to the 73-0 loss. In a moment that should only exist in movies, after the 7-3 regular season win, Washington's coach allegedly told reporters that the Chicago Bears players were just a bunch of crybabies and quitters. Of course, a few weeks later when they met in the finals, Chicago's coach George Halas used these comments as motivation for his team to stomp their opponents in this blowout of a game. Let's take a look at this game, because honestly, it was a mess from the start. Chicago scored a touchdown on their second play of the game, a 68-yard run by their running back. By the end of the first quarter, Chicago would score two more times for a 21-0 lead after only 15 minutes of play. By the time the fourth quarter rolled around, Chicago had a 54-0 lead, and with an attempt at mercy, the Bears coach pulled most of his starting lineup out of the game, yet the backups continued to score until the very end, en route to this silly 73-0 victory. Chicago actually scored so many times that the game had to be finished with practice balls because too many regulation footballs had been kicked into the stands during extra point field goals. The silliest thing of it all, though, may be how much the NFL has changed financially. The ticket sales for that game hit what was at the time a record-breaking $102,000. But nowadays, that much money wouldn't even be able to pay for even 1 second of commercial time for Sunday's big game. And hopefully that game is a little bit more exciting than what we saw in 1940. Thank you so much for watching the video, everybody. If you like that, please subscribe because I'm going to be releasing one of these every Wednesday, so stay tuned for more.